Hey everyone, it's Chris Burns with Infopreneur Agency, and today I'm going to be showing you just how I would go about messaging someone to build rapport and build connections, because a lot of people get hung up on how to really connect with people, and they might jump into it a little too aggressively and turn people off. So primarily, I want to focus on the mindset I'm going with is I want to connect with people who don't want to do the work building a website. Well, who doesn't want to build a website more than someone who's really good at what they do, like a technician, like a coach, a business coach or a life coach or, even a relationship coach. They don't want to put in the work to build a website because they're really good at what they do, and what they have to rely on or learn to rely on is a team to do it for them. So I'm a part of this group called the Coaching Jungle. You can go check it out. Mark Mahini is a great guy, and he has his own podcast, and he's made this really active group. And so I come here, and what I want to look for is people who are active, right? And in this connection process, I'm not looking for people to sell to or anything like that. I'm looking for people to build connections with, right? Because your net worth is only as strong as your network, right? So I'm primarily going in with a serving focus and finding out what's important to other people. So I come here, and if you haven't been a part of a group for a while, you want to look at what kind of things are being posted, what the interests are. You see this one, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time kind of thing. So it's like mindset, and you got people, with videos showing off, what's been your experience. Really, so we can see, maybe Kellen is active, Joe Self is active, Jeffrey St. Laurent, he has a page as well. He'd be a great person to connect with, right? So, for example, if I wanted to connect with Jeffrey, what I would do is I'd just start messaging him, and I would start this message, but I think I already have a conversation going with him, and I don't want to, mess with people's privacy or anything like that. So I would start a message, and really something simple I would say is, "Hey, how's it going, Jeffrey?" Like, "Hey, how you doing?" We have talked before, so this is kind of a bad example. But if you hadn't talked to someone, it's as simple as saying, "Hey, how's it going? I see you're a part of the Coaching Jungle. I am too. Like, what's your biggest takeaway from the group, or what have you learned so far from the group?" Really using something that you guys already have in common to start a conversation is a really great way to build that rapport quickly. Now, he might say something like, "Oh, I've gotten that to be a coach, it takes working with a team, right?" Or, "I don't want to spend the work to build my website myself, because I'm learning all these great coaching techniques, and I want to outsource that to someone else." And so I say, "Okay," and I keep talking. The conversation probably wouldn't go to business. First off, I'd say, "Hey, how's it going?" He'd say, "Life's great." And you can see maybe this is his son right here. So I'd ask about how his son is doing. How old is he? Like what he enjoys doing with his son. Are they active? Do they play sports? Just really getting in his world and not immediately jumping into business, because if you transition the conversation to business that quickly, then it's a little abrupt, and it can trigger some things, whether consciously or subconsciously, in people that would make them not want to talk to you. So you got to be careful with that, and just be aware of everything that you say has an effect on people. So really getting in his world, and finding out what's important to him. So you'd ask about his son. Maybe that's important to him. Maybe family time is important to him. Maybe time in general is important to him. Maybe you hear that he's like overworked or stressed out or whatever. I know he's probably not. He looks like an amazingly happy guy, and I know he has his own group and creates videos, sales training videos. So really, you just keep going in the conversation, and eventually the question's going to get asked on what do you do, right? And you could start asking him, after 6 or 7 messages back and forth. You can ask Jeffrey, "Hey, so what do you do? So what's your focus? What do you focus on right now? What are some projects that you're working on? What are you passionate about? What's important to you?" That's a little bit a weird question. What's important to you, because it's kind of abrupt and strange. But like, if you can go in a kind of more subtle way of asking that, really finding out what's important to people is like crucial. right? That's how you move ahead. That's how you build relationships. And when you talk about what other people like and are interested in, then they like talking to you. When you bring up stuff that other people are passionate about, or just really they care about, that's the kind of connections that you want to build, because they know that when they talk to you, they're going to have an enjoyable conversation because it's stuff that they like talking about. So it really makes sense. And eventually you'd want to transition that into what do you do, somehow, some way asking that question. And people are usually pretty open to talking about it. Not when it's the second message you send them, but after you've built some rapport. And then also they might start that. They might ask you, what do you do? What are you working on, kind of thing. So I'm not going to start any conversations right now, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward to not just dive into something like that. And after the conversation has been going for a little bit, or you find out what each other does, you can see if there's an opportunity to move that conversation into a little bit more of a high touch method or platform, which would be a phone call or a Skype or a Google Hangout or a Zoom call, whatever, preferably face to face, because that's when you really build that rapport quickly. Or if you can meet in person, that's even better, or at an event or something like that. But most likely, if you're using Facebook and social media to connect with people, they're going to be from all over the world, so meeting in person might be a little bit difficult. But this is really a focal point for any business and business owner that's starting out, any internet marketing, or someone who's creating info products or coaching or whatever it is. So really take it to heart that you're out there to connect with people. You're out there to be of service. If someone says that they're looking for something and it's not a service you provide, let them know, hey, I have a friend who does just that, or hey, I can be a resource to you. And that's what you want to say to move the conversation to a video or a phone call. You want to say, hey, I'd love to get on a call and see just how we might be able to support each other, or how we might be able to work together, or like partner up in anything. So again, this has been Infopreneur Agency. This is Chris Burns with some tips on connecting with people on social media, how to do that, how to have people enjoy talking to you, and really make it a pleasurable experience both for yourself and them. You don't want to just throw up on people, and if you do that, you're going to scare people away. But if you do this approach like I'm sharing about, you're going to build incredible rapport, and you're going to be seen in the community as someone who's authentic and has an integrity, and people are going to love being around you. So until next time, keep kicking butt and keep coming back to Infopreneur Agency for all your greatest resources to grow your info business.